symptoms of a canker sore, aka ulcer in your mouth. If you've been dealing with mouth pain, you may have wondered if it could have been a canker sore or an ulcer. If this sounds like you, then you're in the right place, because I'm here to answer the question, could it be a canker sore? How can you end mouth pain that goes along with it once and for all? Let's get started. Hi, I'm Sherry Wertz, registered dental hygienist, oral myofunctional therapist, and oral health coach. In this video, we're going to answer what causes mouth ulcers. If you want to know the cure, you have to know the cause. We're going to be going over warning signs and symptoms your body gives you. And finally, I'll be sharing with you the methods I use for ending the suffering of mouth pain once and for all. So let's dive in. Okay, so let's answer the question, what causes ulcers? Generally, it's caused by stress. Minor injury or trauma inside of the mouth is what's thought to be the cause of canker sores. Some type of trauma to the tissue inside the mouth causes a sore, like biting your cheek, biting your tongue, jamming it with your toothbrush. Certain foods, including citrus, acidic foods, or vegetables like lemon, oranges, pineapple, figs, tomatoes, strawberries, just to name a few. These are all things that can trigger canker sores or make them worse, especially if some people have sensitivities or allergies to these foods. If you notice that sores are happening with foods that you eat, you can actually cut out that cause. Contrary to popular belief, canker sores are not the outcome of a viral or bacterial infection, and they're not contagious. Different from cold sores that are caused by a herpes, canker sores are actually just a small ulcer in the protective lining of the mouth. Unlike cold sores, canker sores are not contagious. Stress, trauma, and food are definitely the causes of canker sores in the mouth. Before I get into the warning signs that your body gives you, have you subscribed to my YouTube channel yet? Just click the subscribe button. I make videos like this every week that talk about the mouth-body connection that help you take control of your health. Let's get into those warning signs that your body's going to give you. One of the first signs you might be experiencing is just some dull pain in your mouth. People who deal with chronic mouth ulcers generally have weight loss, ultimately because their mouth hurts and they're not able to consume the correct nourishment needed, especially during the 7 to 14 days that these traumatic ulcers happen, not wanting to eat because of the pain, so they avoid it, hence the weight loss. You can absolutely experience swollen glands in your face and your neck, and in that case, you might feel like you have a sore throat too. You might have difficulty swallowing, chewing, eating, and you don't want to eat at all, especially when you have a sore throat. An ulcer along the border of your tongue can make your whole mouth and your throat hurt. This is what I experienced with cancer and cancer treatments. Those sores were so bad that I wanted to skip eating altogether. I didn't even want to swallow water. You can imagine what happened. Then I got a stomach ache because I was so hungry and I had an acidic mouth. Sometimes I just slurped some Jell-O just to get it down. It was a vicious cycle that went around for months until a friend bought me a product I'd never heard of before that changed my life. Several people who deal with ulcers also experience indigestion and acid reflux. There are also types of symptoms, again, a warning symptoms that something might be going on inside your body. It's something that I experienced. I had acid in my stomach because I wasn't putting foods in there. And then you want to take an antacid or drink milk to help soothe your stomach. You might find that these sores, you don't want to chew much because it hurts so much. You don't want to move your tongue. You don't want to swallow. Pretty much don't want to do anything. So you may not also have as much saliva because you're not chewing. Then you're not digesting. So you can see how this is just a vicious circle and has a trickle-down effect and a snowball of what happens when you're not using your mouth, you're not chewing, you're not making the saliva. So this is going to show up with undigested foods coming out the other end because you're not choosing it as much and creating that saliva. Another key thing is that you may actually have difficulty chewing and swallowing, and then the sores get even worse. And then you can turn your food into a smoothie and drink it through a straw. But because you're not eating, you might experience tiredness, fatigue. Even before the cancer, I was getting sores in my mouth 2 or 3 times a month. I just explained them away because I was in a hurry. I was chewing my food. I would bite my tongue. I would bite my cheeks. I was just sensitive to these foods. I'd get them under my tongue. Then I'd have a sore throat and an upset stomach because I wasn't eating right. Turns out I had a chronic acidic environment in my mouth and in my stomach. I had a pH imbalance that contributed to not only cavities, but to the cancer. And then I was eating sugars that fed the cancer. So I've learned through this whole process that when your pH is out of balance, not only does it cause cavities in your mouth, it causes disease in your body. So pH is another thing that you can watch. I have another video on that you can watch, but pH is going to be important in balancing out your system. It's also another warning sign. You can give pH strips and spit on it, and it'll let you know if you're acidic or alkaline. And this is another warning sign that your body gives you. Mouth ulcers could actually be a warning sign that, Houston, we have a problem. Or it could be that you just have a trauma in your mouth and it could take that 7 to 14 days to go away. Don't ignore it if you have chronic ulcers, chronically over years, over months. For me, it was another sign. Hair falling out, chronic canker sores, nails breaking, tired, and then my gums started bleeding. I ignored all the signs until my gums started bleeding. I'm a dental hygienist. I knew my gums were healthy, so bleeding gums meant something was wrong. And that's when I started looking into it. So these are all signs. I'm curious to know, did you know that you could experience all these types of symptoms as a result of a mouth ulcer? Let me know in the comments below. Are you experiencing any of these symptoms that maybe you've been ignoring? There are over-the-counter remedies that help with mouth pain. Abreva is one that works great on the cold sore on the outside, at least for me. This product that I'm using right now works better. Beltrex is something you can get over the counter as a prescription for cold sores. And then benzocaine is something that you can put inside that just numbs it. Sometimes a teaspoon of baking soda in water would help my stomach calm down, which then would help my mouth. Sometimes it was something that I ate. I noticed that it was getting worse. Again, when I ate more acidic foods, I got more canker sores because I was already acidic and I didn't know it. Sometimes it was from brushing too fast, chewing too fast, biting my teeth or tongue. Those traumatic ulcers are even more sore than just a cold sore ulcer. Traumatic ulcers hurt and last a long time and they get bigger. Some of these over-the-counter remedies didn't help me. It just numbed them. So some of the over-the-counter things just make you more comfortable, but they don't help them go away. I've tried almost all over-the-counter remedies on the market over the past 30 years, and pretty much nothing worked for me. The best solution that I had was a dental laser. It took the pain away almost immediately, and it took the pain away, and then they went away in 2 or 3 days. It literally worked like magic. You just wave the laser over the canker sore, the cold sore, and abracadabra, took the pain away, and they healed much faster. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, click the red button. I put out videos like this every week that talk about the health-body connection and how you can take ownership of your health. So these videos that you can see how a laser works. If you have access to a laser, it's really great. It's $30 to $100 to get that lasered off. I would drive an hour sometimes for relief when I didn't have one where I worked. The problem with the laser is they just take away the pain and they help them heal faster, but they don't keep them from coming back. So with a cold sore on the outside, depending on if you catch it in that tingling stage, sometimes they don't come back in that spot with a laser. But for a canker sore, the laser unfortunately does not stop them from coming back. They still keep coming because the laser doesn't do anything about the causative factors of canker sores. It's not caused by a virus. It's caused by stress or trauma. So that's why a laser doesn't keep them from coming back. But a laser is a great option if you have that. When I didn't work for a dentist that had a laser during the cancer, I had to find another way. So I'm very grateful that I was able to find this product. Okay, so that leaves me with time to share the method that I used. But first of all, the key to be able to help prevent them is knowing the cause. Ultimately, everything going on in your body can be included. If it's a traumatic ulcer, you know there's not something going on in your body. It's caused by chewing a chip, by biting your cheek or your tongue, or using your toothbrush. If you're getting chronic ulcers, there's something that's off in your body, and you might want to find out what's going on with your system and what's causing that to happen in the first place, especially if they're chronic and they're not going away. I told you that they were getting more chronic, more persistent, and I didn't know I had cancer. So I would just kind of explain it away because I've had these forever. I didn't even notice that the duration was coming more often. So now that I've been using this product, I don't get these sores anymore. We all have microbes in our mouth, in our stomach, in our body. So we can get tested. What is the type of bacteria that's happening in our gut that might be causing this? We need to question what's going on if they're chronic and they're not going away. I have a friend. Her name is Dr. Kelly Shockley. She says if we're not testing, we're just guessing. Not everyone can afford to have this tested. But if you're unsure and you think it's something in your body and it's a bacteria that you could use a probiotic, she tests everything from heavy metals, cancer markers, imbalance of, that's how I found out it was so low in vitamin D. I'm going to have my daughter tested to see if we can get it sooner. So if you have access, look up Dr. Kelly Shockley and get that tested. So there are a lot of other details I'd love to share with you on the whole body connection and the differences between Canker sores and cold sores. But that's too long. I don't want this video to get too long. So just follow me. A healthy mouth is a healthy body and a happy, healthy